The Whine and Cheese Show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion and interview series brought to you by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and host BEN68 and Morecheese. Warning: the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved and contains content not suitable for anyone.
G'day and welcome to Season 1, Episode 25 of the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverse Show. We're back, baby!
Ben and I talked about a whole bunch of interesting shit. Too much that I'm not even going to list it, but it was good, so give it a watch.
So get ready for a very shitty, how does this thing work again, episode of...
The worst show ever.
Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Cheese. One is a wanker, one's slinging stunts. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the Metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello, welcome to the Whine and Cheese. We're up to level. We're up to level 25.
Yes!
And today we have absolutely nobody on our show but Ben and I.
Yeah, well, we've had a bit of a break. It's probably good to ease back into things a bit, so...
Yeah, we're interesting enough. More interesting than anybody we've had on. No, I'm kidding. We're actually not. No, they're a lot more interesting than us. But anyway, I digress. And let's get into our spiel.
So we're going to do a bit of an all-around catch-up on things today. So we found a few articles. The first one, well, not an article for this one. We're talking about Detroit, the release of Detroit. What was the deal there?
How'd you do there, Ben?
Me? Oh, yeah. As I have started doing in all of these new cities, I don't bother doing any sort of collection speculation. I just go in and gobble up the floor of the non-FSA properties. So I got like 150 properties between $2,000 and $4,000 UPEX. So between $2 and $4.
Nice.
I'll sit on those for a year and flip them in a year. See what the floor is.
I tried
similar thing I did in Chicago, Los Angeles, everywhere. So
yeah.
I didn't put any time, money, effort, or anything towards collection speculation. How'd you go?
I didn't put any effort, but I did take some advice from people in the cafe. I know Mossy gave me some like nubs or something on the Twitter that we're going to discuss later, the Upland Twitter, about speculation on the letters or whatnot. So I bought a few. I got some purple stuff, but like nothing's flipping. Like I'm trying to kind of flip it for a decent price and nothing's really selling. People need to kind of lick their wounds and regain some of their UPX back. So I'm hoping for that soon.
Well, there's plenty of stuff selling. I'm selling like an absolute madman at the moment, but I'm selling in all the... What's that?
Because you bought at $2 each.
Oh, I'm not selling those ones. I'm selling stuff that I bought 2 years ago.
Don't say San Francisco.
I'm selling San Francisco. I'm selling Manhattans. No. I'm selling Bakersfield. I'm selling Fresno. I can move those at the floor pretty much at will. So, yeah, I've been stacking loads of UPEX because we don't know what's going to happen here with, cars coming up and this, that, and the other thing. I still really want to try and stack up a 5 million UPEX balance for the first international one. So I'm trying to do that. Plus I've got the UCC, I still got 13 million UPEX to pay off my UCC contract or something like that. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of UCC, I need a couple million for that too. You and me are both very tenacious in our nodes and whatnot, which is a good thing. So
yeah. So, and UCC, for people that aren't really into the Upland, UCC is a kind of player organized company that helps other players build within the Upland Metaverse. So they're very good at what they're doing. But yeah, we throw these acronyms around all over the place. I'd like to dive into what you just said about the letters for Detroit, because
Yes.
I just actually saw Bocchio's video this morning, actually, when I was kind of trying to wake up. We had a bit of a play around and found that it came from an Upland tweet. Now here it says, "Welcome to Detroit," with, oh my God, Miles looks like he's off, he's stoned, or he's been punched in the head too many times, or what's going on. But
I don't know.
in
He looks a little dirty. Like, what's that red stuff on him? He looks a bit beat up, like undone. What are they trying to say about Detroit?
I know. I don't think it's good.
Look at his collar. It's like ripped up.
Yeah, it's a strange choice. Yeah. Maybe that's some kind of automatic transmission fluid. Detroit being Motor City.
All right.
You'd think it'd be oil spots though. Red's a
he looks like
funny
he
color choice.
Like he killed like a Teletubby or something. The pink one.
God.
Oh no.
Yes. So in the letters for Detroit, in the background, you can see that there are several different pictures of or illustrations of houses. Now, the Upland community, being the super sleuths that they are, they went hunting for some of these little pictures in real life, and they were actually able to find some of these addresses within the Upland Metaverse, or at least from Google Maps and whatnot. And they speculated that these were going to be collections, and what do you know, they were. So some of the people who put in some time and effort to, because I can't imagine how, it's a needle in a haystack, isn't it? Like seeing a little red house with a triangle roof. How would you even go about finding that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no
idea. But they managed to do it.
Detectives in Upland. Definitely.
Yeah. So they managed to do it, and they're going to reap the benefits of their work because, it turns out it was a collection, and they, I saw Bock had got, I think it was over a dozen properties in that area. So
yeah, and DTech got the exact image.
Oh, that's right. It was right on the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that a collection as well?
That was I think an ultra rare. That was right on the water. What was it called? I'll tell you. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Yeah, that's definitely some super sleuth activity and like I said, I wouldn't even know how to begin to start that process.
Pure luck.
Oh yeah, DTEX was just a fluke, wasn't it? That they found that in the back end that was the property, but the T for Detroit with that red triangular building, that was a super sleuth effort.
Harbor Island. Yeah, and Jefferson Chalmers.
So did you manage to luck anything? Were you minting here, there, and everywhere, or did you stick to a plan?
I mean, I kind of bought where I could in the beginning next to the train, just in case. And then I started like slowing down and getting what other people were speculating. I was able to pick up, 5 in Chalmers. I got some in Midtown. I got, some in Woodbridge. But those aren't going to move anytime soon. Not for the prices I would like for them.
Yeah. Cool. So where does that leave you if they release cars tomorrow? You got to balance there to be able to buy a car, or you're going to have to put some more in?
They release cars tomorrow, then I'll have to sell some stocks.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the last thing I want to do. I kind of want to try to get into the free to play situation where I keep, trying to take money out instead of putting money in.
Yep.
But it's getting harder and harder because things are coming out more and more fast. And if they bring out Queens, I have no idea. Like for cars, I'll definitely sell some stock and put money in right away. But it's not ideal. It's not something I want to do.
Yeah, well, we're really getting to that point, I think, where you can't do everything. You just have to be able to suck it up and say, "Oh, I'm going to sit this one out," or go very minimalist. I'm always going to buy properties in every city. That's always going to happen. But yeah, I'm not always going to go in and, buy 150 properties or more. It may be just enough to fill out whatever the generic collection is.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I hear that because it's all right. So, I mean, if you want to sell it, it's good. I'm trying to get my dividends up. I'm up to like 12,000 UPX a day, which is nice. When they, took down a dividend percentage, I took a pretty big hit. I know you took a huge hit.
Over 220,000 a month hit.
Yeah.
Mine went down.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I've gone the opposite direction as far as dividends. I've just not focused on that at all, and I've just gone back to, because I have all this stock. At one stage I had well over 1,000 San Francisco properties and I think nearly 400 Manhattans. So I'm just chipping away at that, just whatever the floor is, just slowly but surely. I have all these unrealized gains just sitting there. It's kind of silly I'm definitely not putting any more money in. So it's silly for me to just sit there and not be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move past this mentality but if you wait 5 years, it's San Francisco is going to be worth 100K or whatever it might be. Just play within my means with what I have in the here and now sort of thing.
Yeah, I hear that. For me, I kind of want to try to bring down my investments in everywhere except for San Fran, Chicago, and New York. I would like to own more New York if I could get it for a good deal.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm just. Well, they're all at the floor. If you look at most of the neighborhoods where I have properties, I just put it at the floor. I sold out of the very low floors ages ago. I just had one sell then in Hell's Kitchen when I woke up, and the floor there was 198,000 UPX. So that's $200 almost, and that's the floor price.
I actually have one on sale in Hell's Kitchen. It's right across from my school. I had a few there. I've been getting some really good prices for those. I know the small ones I have across the street from my big school sold for like $350 and $400K each, but I have one there for $259. That's the lowest I'll go at the moment. I need to build my Bronx.
Yeah, I'm just looking purely at markups. Like that one I sold in Hell's Kitchen, I think I paid $10K for or something like that. So, the ones I'm selling in San Francisco, I paid $3K for, and they're selling for, some of them depends on the neighborhood. Like if you're talking about Marina or somewhere like that, they're selling for $100K. As soon as I list them, they'll sell. So, but I'm also selling out of some of the old school node projects, like my one up. I've got one in the Dog Patch that's up for sale at a reasonable price. I've got one of my Alamo Squares up for sale. Again.
Oh, really? You're selling Alamo Square?
Well, I've got two there. Both of them have small townhouses on them. It's some of these projects. They go back to they're old school. They're talk projects. I'm not seeing a lot of action. So that they may be something. They may not be. Again, I'm just talking about cashing in on what I've got.
Yeah.
And putting that UPX to use for future flips. Like I said, all those 4,500 properties I got in Chicago, none of them are for sale until next year. Same with LA, same with Detroit. So
I forgot all about LA. Maybe that's a good thing. But talking about all talk, to be honest, I think nodes will be the future of Upland in regards to kind of like power, and a lot of the people that kind of create their nodes and forget about them or don't put as much effort as others are going to really regret it. And I think now is the biggest, best time to put your concentration in a node if you can. And I personally like the fact that people are, coming forward and creating these. I just hope, like you said, it's not all talk and people do put some action behind these projects.
Well, I think we need the team to come out and solidify what all this is about. Like, how long have we had property development for? A year? And we still have no utility whatsoever for these buildings. We have no indication of what the actual utility will be. You know, the team has talked about things, but as far as I'm concerned, talk is very cheap. My days of listening to talk are done. I'm only interested in action, and I know a lot of people have got their nose out of joint. A lot of people that have invested heavily time and resources into building nodes, they got their nose out of joint with this last announcement about the upcoming AMA and whatnot. It was just all about cars. Well, hang on a minute. What about property development? So I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe with this new building competition that's going on, this building design, maybe that'll kickstart something. But yeah, they have to do something with functionality of properties.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later. It has to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the other way you can look at that, and the way I'm kind of looking at it, is that's great that it's still under the radar. That means I can continue to build as much as I can, as fast as I can, for as cheap as I can.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Because like tick, 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 that's your life running out. That's where I am up to in Dexter, by the way.
Cool.
So yeah, like I definitely need more time. Like, I don't want the prices of building like building up houses for Spark to go up. I want to get mine done, sit back, and then watch everyone else struggle, because that's my whole MO.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many structures I have now. I'd imagine it would be, I don't know, I got no idea actually. I imagine it'd be well over 100, probably close to 200.
Near and dear to us to start building in Midtown. Thank you. Thank me later. Shout out.
Near and dear. What freaking Kool-Aid are you drinking?
He's building. Shut up.
Yeah, so we'll see. That with the, as soon as they cracked the seal on the dividends, which was just absolute BS, they said they weren't going to do that until people had an extra source of income. Well, there's only 10 players that have an extra source of income, and they're the Block Explorer shop. So they've shown that they're willing to drop that willy-nilly at the drop of a hat with no reasoning behind it. So I'm pretty much out of the dividend boosting game. And yeah, you got to assume that with the functionality of these properties, as far as, renting and that sort of stuff, there has to be some income associated with it. Has to be.
And then like the AMA is funny. The upcoming AMA, ask questions, but yet when you ask questions, they make fun of you. It's like, I was like, oh, do you have anything planned for this month? Oh, we don't want to get into that. Well, why not? That's not satisfactory. Oh, aren't you the guys who say to promise less and deliver more? Like, why even have an AMA then?
They're not AMAs. They're not. Submit your questions. Submit your questions ahead of time. We'll cherry pick them and answer them how we see fit.
I think we're both getting too angry and need to move on.
Yeah, well, I said I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole.
Chicken remix.
Yes, let's end that there.
They were in Germany. They had a meetup in Germany.
Yes, isn't that upcoming? I thought that was upcoming, or is it already happened?
Oh yeah, maybe you're right. But that's funny. Like, is this another Twitter clue? Is Germany going to be the next?
That's something I wanted to whine about. Yeah, keep talking.
Whine about.
I got one last whine before we move on.
All right.
Keep talking.
Well, no, I figured maybe that they were going to reveal something in this meetup, and why Germany, like, of all places. I wonder if they're going to announce their first international.
Ooh.
This is not Germany. I hope.
Of course.
I mean, eventually Germany, but not first.
Yeah, well, you never know. With they had that sponsorship thing where you could apply to have your city done. You wouldn't know what sort of background deals they got going on. But I just wanted to have a whine about this. What the hell is this TikTok crap?
I don't know.
These are the worst, most cringe-worthy things I've seen in my life. Is this some kind of, maybe it's a generation thing. I'm 45 years old. Maybe I just don't get it.
See,
but these
I like
horrendous.
I have my attention span is too shit for TikTok. I love the vines. TikTok is like a freaking like I don't know. I have no idea. TikTok is look at me sing, look at me dance. I have no idea what the hell TikTok is. Is that X1?
TikTok is it's chewing gum for dunderheads is what TikTok is.
He looks fluffy there.
There. Yeah, I mean, two
to the left. Down.
This one.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
That's
him? These ones, they're just this horrendous. How much money are they spending on
this? The dancing isn't even that good. It's so robotic. It's like...
Well, look at this one. Look at this one. It's just... Oh, no. Some chick gets the phone out of the freezer. She defrosts it. Guy flips out. I don't think the audio goes through for the recording, so I'm kind of talking through it. She hides in a suitcase. He can't find her. She jumps out the suitcase, runs away, sits down. He's looking for her. She asks some random dude to kill her boyfriend.
Oh my God, this is Upland?
Yeah. Sorry, this is dead air for our listeners. But then, yeah.
It's just stupid noises. You don't have to hear it.
And then, oh my God, it's just so bad.
I don't understand any of this.
I'm gonna stop that.
Is it that she's not allowed to use her phone, or he's not allowed to use his phone? Was that her phone in there in the freezer? She's not allowed to use it. That's very abusive behavior. And she's
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Wow, Upland.
That was probably some horrendous dead time for people that are just listening. So make sure you check out the YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what that stuff is. I don't get it. I would hate to think how much, as I said, how much money they're spending on that. But maybe it's a generation thing. I don't know. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe I'm too old to understand.
Ben, I wish I never saw that. I never saw that.
Go and have a look at the other ones because it doesn't get much better.
What?
Anyhow, we shall move on because we got a bunch of stuff we wanted to touch on. But yeah, I thought that was quite funny. All right, we're just going to rip through a few articles that we found. First one here, we've got interest in NFTs and the Metaverse is falling fast. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, Paul Tassi, you have no idea what you're talking about.
He's a senior contributor to the Forbes.com site. Cheese, come on.
Yeah, his father probably owns it or something.
Have you been seeing less NFT chatter around the internet lately? Hearing a bit less about the Metaverse? Well, you're not alone.
Wow.
Despite initial surge in the use of buzzwords, interest in both concepts appears to be sharply declining, at least according to Google search trends. Well, we see this with everything. You know, suddenly your grandma's talking about, you know, the latest thing and then it pans off. This is, you know, that's nothing new.
First of all, like it's Forbes. So basically it's kind of like investment firms and stocks competing with NFTs and crypto. I'm sure there's going to be a big kind of adversary between them because, you know, bad stuff happens, NFTs go up, stocks go down.
Yeah.
And crypto like kind of is where everybody wants to go.
We see this all the time. Like people like JP Morgan in the finance world will FUD the hell out of crypto, and then a year later you find out that they've got $5 billion worth of crypto, you know?
Well, isn't JP Morgan in Sandbox?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was one of those ones we talked about. But they were shitting on, you know, crypto and all of that sort of stuff for ages.
Yeah, it's like unless they're in it, reaping benefits from it, it's crap and it's not going to do good. But, oh, hey, I got involved and it's not so bad anymore sort of thing.
Oh, and here's an interesting point here. As for the metaverse, the term has been repeated so much and so often it's almost become meaningless. Most often cited regarding blockchain-based shared worlds that have concurrent players averages outside the top 200 to 300 games on Steam at any given time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Steam person.
Yeah.
Is Steam and Valve? What's the relationship between Steam and Valve? Is there any?
Valve is a game, isn't it like a game creator?
Is that a competitor or something, or is there some kind of?
I believe they have games on Steam. I believe Valve is the Warhead. Let me see. Let me just make sure before I say something wrong.
Yeah, because I seem to remember. I think it might be the boss of Valve or whatever was ripping the idea of Metaverse to shreds.
Yeah, Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress, all of those games you can get on Steam.
Yeah, so it was one of these guys that it was either somebody at the head of Valve or Steam. They were just shitting all over the idea of NFTs and Metaverse. To say that the top 300 games on Steam have nothing to do with Metaverse, that's quite funny because the Metaverse gaming space is kind of evolving as its own sub-branch.
Oh yeah,
is my take on things.
And that's why I started to play Ghost Recon.
Yeah, this is like surveying bank customers and for what kind of crypto stock they hold. You're surveying the wrong crowd, mate.
Like this guy is saying Metaverse is getting played out and is over with. It hasn't even started. Like we haven't even seen anything yet. This is like the very beginning.
Yes.
So he's comparing, he keeps talking about Facebook and Meta, but like Facebook and Meta is a big word, but they're nowhere near some of the top players like, Sandbox and Upland and, you know, all the other ones. So.
And they've got a Google search graph here showing, searching for NFTs Metaverse. And yeah, of course, there's a massive spike, as happens when everything hits the zeitgeist and people start talking about it. And then it's kind of tapering off a bit, but it's kind of formed a new...
That could be a flag. That could be a flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or pennant, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't put much stock into that, but good on you, Paul. What is it? Was that his name? Yeah, Paul. Keep the FUD flowing, mate, and then that'll mean...
Assy.
I've screwed up my thing here. All right, so we'll move on from that. On the flip side, Metaverse real estate prices are booming. This is why. So here's an article that was posted on the 10th of March. So this is a nice recent one. Prices for land in the Metaverse have surged this year with some plots selling for millions. What we've been talking about for ages, brands want to secure space that will be popular, advertising space or for their own shop fronts and stuff like that. So yeah, what do you think about this?
Advertising is the heart of every corporation. They're going to need to be inside of every kind of nook and cranny to be able to advertise. And if everybody is in the metaverse and they're most of the time not watching TV, not listening to anything, they're going to miss a lot of advertising. So there's going to be a want to kind of spread yourself out through the top most popular metaverses, which is why, again, I'm looking for, the McDonald's and the Burger Kings and the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts, because I feel like those people are already trying to get into the metaverse and are wanting, like, hey, you live here, you know that there's a McDonald's right here. Come visit us. We have some games to play. Oh, and while you're here, you might as well put an order through for delivery and we'll get it right out to you.
Yep.
So
absolutely. And that speaks to some of the points we've been talking about for months now. I love this definition of what the metaverse is. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
The metaverse is fundamentally a 3D version of the internet. That's a pretty simple way to look at things. It's not some massive new change. It's a tweak on what you've already been doing. Mm-hmm. And the dude says people spend a lot of time on the internet, so why wouldn't they spend a lot of time in the metaverse?
Exactly.
Makes sense. Yeah, we talked about this going back to your McDonald's analogy. You know, if you're
Yeah.
ordering, you know, in Australia, most of the ordering gets done on a big touch screen thing. Yeah, there's no reason that can't have gamification and, you know, 3D elements or whatever associated with it, whether that be your phone or whatnot.
Yeah.
I went to one of the big theme parks called Movie World here on the Gold Coast where I live yesterday, and they have systems now where all of your ticketing is done. Like, we bought annual passes and it's all on your phone. At the moment, it's like you get emailed a receipt or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's quickly going to be turned into an NFT. Like, you have your NFT annual pass, so you show them your NFT on your phone, that gets you in. They have virtual queues now, so you go on the website and you can queue virtually, but it's kind of a text-based thing. But I can pretty easily see that becoming a metaverse thing where you see your little avatar move up in the queue and you think, oh crap, we're getting close to the front of the line for this ride, we better get over there quick. You know, oh, we didn't make it, we got booted back, sort of thing. You know, very easy to see the transition between that. It's just going to take time.
That's a great idea. And I just had another thought. Now, let's say you have the event places. What about the places right next to the event places? Like, cars are coming out. We still have to talk about that. What about parking? What about there's going to be a big event and you're going to drive there because you don't live nearby? What about if you buy the spaces next to these places that have the events to have as a kind of garage?
Yep.
That would be amazing. That would be a great idea.
That happens. I'm sure that happens in the States like it happens here. There's a big showground near where I live, and if you want to park in the showground, I think might be $10 or something when they have events, but you see it every single time. You drive up getting close to the showground, and there's people that have properties all the way there. Come and park in our joint. It's $5, you know? So
it's like a parking B&B.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we could see. And I just happened that big car manufacturing plant that they're building in Santa Clara now for Upland. I just happen to own, you know, 24 properties all around that. So I've started listing those at just like fishing prices as well, because I'm speculating that people will be thinking the same as you, that they want to get in on that sort of action. So
oh yeah, I have a few. I'm not selling them.
Yeah. So yeah, this article that talks about the metaverse says there are 4 major platforms in the metaverse at the moment, with a combined total of 268,000 parcels of land. They are Sandbox, Decentraland, CryptoVoxes, and Somnium Space. Again, Upland, there's something that Upland is not doing that's not getting them on the radar. Instead of stupid TikToks, put some funding towards getting your name out there for these sorts of places. Upland needs to get their name in the mix of this. 268 parcels of land. How many parcels of land have we got in Upland? Millions?
Yeah.
It'd have to be a million, surely.
Of the like the status they're in, like they're unfinished sort of thing, whereas these are seen as finished.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something missing. You know, something that Upland's doing is not, or something that they're either doing or not doing is not getting across. It's not getting the name. And again, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's giving us the time to build our foundations bigger, better, stronger. Who knows?
Every article we've seen, pretty much 98, 99% have not had Upland in there.
Absolutely. So, all right. We won't go too far into this because we've got a bunch of stuff to cover up, and we're going to, this new phase of the Whine and Cheese show, we're going to try and slim things down a bit so we're not waffling on for 2-ish, 3-ish hours and whatnot. So we'll see how we go. So who already owns land in the metaverse? Companies are buying into the metaverse in the hope it will help them reach new customers. Yeah, we talked about that. So, you know, Adidas, Warner Music Group, blah, blah, blah. Big names, you know, we've talked about Snoop Dogg, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I think we'll leave that at that. But, yeah, I guess the big point to take away from that is that, yes, real estate prices are booming, and we need to get Upland on that radar somehow. That needs to be part of the conversation.
Now, what was that thing before that Octavius was promoting? Because I've been seeing some news about them lately, their gaming services.
The DAO thing he was talking about.
Yeah, but like they have like a game thing that they do.
Well, they're invested in several different platforms and games and whatnot. So
yeah,
we'll have to follow that up.
Miranda's,
yes. But that's more of a fantasy thing, isn't it? Like a fantasy metaverse. He's talking about orcs and trolls and taverns and.
Well, there was a few of them within there.
Yeah.
But there was one that kind of looked like a map, like kind of like Upland, but not as pretty. Like I went in to check it out, and you could pretty much do a few things, and then you have a certain amount of moves you can make or money you can make, but then you have to start kind of like putting money into it. It gives you kind of like a taste of it before you could buy, which is pretty decent, like a drive before you buy sort of thing. I just can't remember what it's called, but I've been seeing some kind of advertisements for that. That isn't being advertised as well, but it's pretty popular. Maybe hopefully it's kind of like the same thing as Upland. It's just not ready yet.
Yeah, we'll see. And further to that, here's another article. Meet the real estate mogul of the metaverse who has already spent millions and plans to profit again from rent and billboards.
Wow. Billboards. Wow. And rent, like I really look forward to that, to be quite honest. I'm thinking that's where it's going to be. Like there's so many, like you said, there's so many things to kind of go into, not you can't do everything. So I really want to focus on like building and renting.
Yep. Yes. So the article, again, we're not going to get too deep into this. It just says, forget media, oil, or even social networks. A new generation of moguls is emerging in the nascent sector of metaverse real estate. Nascent, what does that mean? Must mean some new fandangle thing. We talked about this guy before, tokens.com, I believe. He's amassing a portfolio of metaverse properties across several virtual worlds, some of which are worth millions of dollars. So, yeah. And he said, we don't want to sell the land, we want to continue buying land. So, yeah, they're kind of stacking, waiting for future utility again. And here again, we've got some metaverse worlds like Decentraland and Sandbox that incorporate NFTs and cryptocurrencies, give users more ownership of items like land within the platforms. Yeah, Upland needs to be part of this conversation.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
And nascent is like freshly generated into form.
So yeah, new and emerging. Yep. Cool. So yeah, again, we won't go into this too much, but yeah, there's a lot of people spending a lot of money building.
Yeah, I would really like
this is good. Yeah, sorry, finish your thought.
No, I'd really like Upland to be seen on here as well.
I love this quote here. Do you want to read that?
Kids today don't watch TV. I told you they don't go to malls. They do their shopping online. They don't read newspapers. They don't see. They're consuming information on social media platforms. And the metaverse is the next social media platform. Isn't that what I just said?
Yep. And I watched. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like the biggest YouTuber of all time, and like spends crazy amount of money on each video and that sort of stuff. Has made millions upon millions of dollars through YouTube, but has reinvested in all these new cool projects. You don't know Joe Rogan, but you need to go and check out the Joe Rogan podcast. He recently sat down and chatted with Mr. Beast. Incredible interview into the insights of this younger generation's mindset. Like Joe was asking him about like pretty popular, I forget what it was, like movies and that sort of thing. And this Mr. Beast dude had no idea. He's like, if it's not on YouTube, I don't watch it. he's just got no idea about anything. Like, obviously, he's an outlier. He's an extreme version, but that does give you some insight into what this new generation is all about. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen it from my friends' kids, my niece. Like every time I see them, they're always like in there. They're always watching YouTube. It's always YouTube. It's always something on the computer. Like, you want to watch a movie? No, I'm watching this YouTube video.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm heading that way myself as well. Like, I know I sat down last night. My wife got called into work late, so I was at home by myself, and I put on Netflix and I scrolled for 10 minutes, and I was like, there's almost too many options, and I don't want to commit myself to an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I know I'm probably going to fall asleep on the couch. So I went over to YouTube and I've started watching this series, Key West Waterman, where he's like an I'm going to say underwater spear fisherman, but that's pretty much only underwater spear fisherman. But
slow motion spear fishing.
Yeah. But he does all these short little episodes. They're only 15, 20 minutes long, but they're well put together. It's entertaining. It's factual. It's really cool. So I'm switching over to more of that online regular Joe user content stuff as well. So
yeah, look at that. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for my husband, I think I'd be the same way. Like, he's the one that's always like, which I do appreciate, because it's nice to kind of like claw myself away from the computer and just sit on the couch and watch some Dexter or other shows that are on. But yeah, I'd probably be doing the same thing if he wasn't home. I would not be in the living room. I'd be on my computer.
Well, I'm watching this on my living room on my smart TV. I can watch YouTube. I can listen to music. How long before we can play Upland on my smart TV?
Our cable provider is YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we just got this little. Well, first of all, we bought a smart TV, and then we've got we got Disney Plus. We got it has access to everything basically. Just within, it's just a different remote control. So yeah, I don't have to leave the couch. If I had to drag my laptop out or something like that, I probably wouldn't do it. But yeah, it's just a couple of buttons, and I can find stuff on YouTube because there's so much content. I can find something that is far more directly related to my current interests. Like at the moment, I'm going down a little bit of a spearfishing rabbit hole. Well, there's no end of content there, So. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Underwater spearfishing. I like that.
as opposed to the above ground spearfishing.
Maybe that's got to be the NFT for this. Like, you're underwater and you're spearfishing.
Oh God! Like I said, we have had a break.
You spearfish me in the back. I'm like,
oh God! Ouch. Yeah. Moving on. Going off of the online shopping thing, well, now we've talked about this big brands moving into the space. Well, here we go. The clothing brands get any bigger than Gucci?
Oh, that's cool, actually. I really like that.
What, that suit?
I feel like I want to fix it, though. Like, I feel
my God.
Like your sleeve is not inside.
Yeah, well, ignoring the fashion side of things, it says Gucci goes deeper into the metaverse for next NFT project. So, you got Gucci diving headfirst into NFTs and virtual stuff.
That's
so
cool.
there you go.
I like it.
So Gucci's latest metaverse partnership is with 10KTF, an NFT project that includes a virtual floating new Tokyo world, fashion accessories for purchase by profile picture NFT owners, and a fictional character called Wagmi-san, a play on the Web 3.0 phrase WAGMI, short for we are all going to make it. So, there's gamification element in there, NFT, metaverse,
You created a new word.
Laterverse. Laterverse.
You said Laterverse. And I'm like,
well, we told people at the start of this show we've had a break, and it's going to take us a while to ease back into things.
No, but I like it. It's like, oh, this is going to be implemented, but not right now. It's going to be Laterverse.
Sooniverse. Yeah.
Sooniverse.
Yeah. Not the universe, the Sooniverse. There you go. So yeah, we won't dive into that, but the headline is pretty much gives it away. If that's not getting on people's radars, then, what's it going to take?
People aren't going to know who you are soon if you're not on the metaverse.
Yes. And we talked about, didn't we talk about that? Like the analogy of the girl getting dropped off at school, but she didn't have her NFT shoes on or something.
Yeah.
Or dad didn't have his NFT shoes or something embarrassing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. Now, some of the downsides, speaking of kids and NFTs, you want to read the headline on this one?
Is that car trying to drown itself? Metaverse app allows kids into virtual strip clubs.
Oh, baby.
Now, when you say kids, how old are we talking about?
Well, it's got to be under 18s, doesn't it?
Under 18, a researcher posing as a 13-year-old girl witnessed grooming, sexual material, racist insults, and a rape threat in a virtual reality world. Wow.
Some apps in the virtual reality metaverse are dangerous by design.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whole new meaning to don't talk to strangers.
Yeah. The BBC News researcher using an app with a minimum age rating of 13. Well, that's strange. Visited virtual reality rooms where avatars were simulating sex. She was shown sex toys and condoms and approached by numerous adult men.
It's a dangerous world for a girl.
I guess this is what it's referring to. If the minimum age is 13 and this is set up as some kind of sexy thing, there's something wrong there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So
who's manning this this metaverse club?
I don't know. What's the address? Yeah. Here, maybe this is it here. VR chat. While it's not made by Facebook, it's an app called VR Chat. Is an online virtual platform where users can explore with 3D avatars.
Wow.
While it is not made by Facebook, it can be downloaded from an app store on Facebook's Meta Quest headset with no age verification checks. The only requirement being a Facebook account, which you can create those.
Well, I mean,
4-year-old
something
can create
like
that.
There needs to be, rules in place for stuff like this. This is bad form.
Well, what about this? It just skipped. One man told our researcher that avatars can, quote, get naked and do unspeakable things, end quote. Others talked about, quote, erotic role play, end quote.
Wow.
So I guess this is the case of the technology's front-loading the laws. Like, think of things like anime. There's hardcore pornography based as anime. Anime is at its core, well, I guess it's not now because there's plenty of otaku adults get infatuated with anime, but it's kind of cartoonish. But it can be it touches on some pretty heavy concepts. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's laws against the distribution of, that kind of hardcore anime stuff, whether it be comics or, movies and that. There would have to be laws against the I can't say that word, distribution of that to minors. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a case of the Sooniverse. There we go. We're back to the Sooniverse. We will have laws to protect children soon. In the meantime, parents have got to parent. Yeah.
I mean, sure. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's going to be a place where it's going to get to a point where they're not going to do enough. The parents are going to do way too much. It's going to be really overregulated. Like, yeah, sure, parents have to parent, but can't you be proactive? Can't you do stuff to prevent lawsuits in the future? Like, why do you want to go down that road? Why do you want to take away all kind of responsibility and put it on a parent when you could be preventing so much headaches and lawsuits?
Yeah. yeah, I guess you're right there. It's not an excuse. You can't use that as an excuse. But are people going to do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing, or are they just going to lean into whatever's making them the most money? And we know that nothing makes money like sex. So.
It's true, but nothing takes money away like lawsuits.
True. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Nice. I think that's the mic drop on that one. We'll leave that as is. Next one, speaking to the future of NFTs and corporates getting involved. Red Bull ventures into NFTs and the metaverse with trademark filings.
Nice.
And we've seen a bunch of companies move towards trademarking various products and systems related to NFTs in the metaverse. Red Bull's pretty big.
You're going to need energy while you're surfing the web, while you're in the metaverse.
The latest company to begin making the transition into the metaverse is the Austrian energy drink giant Red Bull, which filed a trademark application on March 3rd, indicating the firm plans to expand into the metaverse and offer branded NFTs.
Nice.
And we're not going to dive too much into that, but it does go off. Red Bull is also heavily involved now in crypto, with the Red Bull Formula One team landing a $150 million cryptocurrency sponsorship deal. So
nice.
We've got, it's kind of the trifecta, isn't it? It's crypto, NFTs, metaverse. It's all coming together.
What, is TV going to be the VCR of the future? Are we going to be watching Super Bowl in bars in the metaverse on TV?
Not the TV itself, because that's just a tool to distribute content. However, network television, think of news broadcasts, the CNN or Fox or whatever, or, even what do you call them? What are those comedy drama things? What's the word? Like Friends and all that sort of stuff. What's the word?
Sitcoms.
Yeah, sitcoms and things like that. There will always be a place for those, but I haven't sat down to watch the news, like the network news, in probably 3 years. And that was before all this. Yeah, before all this metaverse stuff kicked off. Now if I want to watch the news, again, it's YouTube. I watch most of my news on YouTube, because if I sit down to watch the network news, that's nightly at 6 p.m. or whatever it is. I'm watching stuff that happened yesterday. Pretty much, it's yesterday's news. If I'm on YouTube, I'm specifically scrolling through for stuff that happened in the content that I'm interested in, the news content that I'm interested in, that happened an hour or 2 hours ago. I'm not sitting there for a 30-minute news segment to wade through, grandma's cat got up the tree and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. You have to wait for the one you want to see. And they always put the one you want to see at the end, the very end. With YouTube, you just go directly there.
Yep.
You're right. Wow. Very insightful.
So we shall see. But this Red Bull thing, that's really cool to see. And I forget, this is not the only Formula One team that has a cryptocurrency sponsorship deal. There's several of them now that have big, massive crypto, or I think it might even be metaverse sponsorship. So, it's going to happen.
That's cool. I like that.
It wasn't that long ago that all of the Formula One teams were sponsored by cigarette companies. We move on.
You move on.
Yeah.
Keep up or get left behind.
Yes. So, no, I think that's a good sign of things to come. Now, did you want to touch on this? I know you said you didn't want to get too political, but I found this. Now, you spoke about this, it might have been 2 or 3 episodes ago, how the Biden administration was considering a bill that was going to heavily impact on crypto, NFTs, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, this I did. That was an older executive order. I feel like he put out another executive order to either fix that one better kind of put a little more information about that one, or this is completely new.
Yeah, well, it says here, President Biden just signed an executive order meant to help guide future legislation around cryptocurrencies and assets like ding, 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 metaverse properties. So, yeah. Skip. And this is kind of what you were talking about. Some crypto investors have feared that it'll be regulated into nothingness. So when Biden announced he would be presenting an executive order regarding crypto, some investors were left holding their breath, including the owners of Metaverse real estate and NFTs. And that's exactly, I'd describe you as that sort of thing. You were kind of like, oh no, what's this going to do?
Yeah, but then you were the next paragraph.
Yes. Instead of fear and contention, the executive order unveiled on March 9th seems promising and has many experts in the crypto world breathing a sigh of relief. Here's some of the good news. Crypto and related assets will finally have a uniform set of rules. And that's been, yeah, you're right. That's my take on things. Tell me the rules that we can play by so that we can play by them. So that's good. We'll just stick to the bullet points there. So they're going to work on a uniform set of rules, which is good. The government seems willing to work with the crypto community. Well, they have to, unless they plan on shutting it down. But all of these governments, China, Australia, America, they're all building their own, or at least having conversations about building their own cryptocurrency. I don't know, to replace their fiat currency, or definitely in conjunction with their fiat currency. So, of course, they have to work with them, because they're most of them are the old school banker mentality. They have to get their heads around it, and it's not something you can just stumble into. Yeah. Here, Grandma, here's my phone. Go and buy some crypto. Get a Coinbase account and go buy crypto. So yeah, crypto and metaverse legislation isn't set in stone yet. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a while. For holders of digital assets, changes are almost certainly coming, but they should neither be swift. They should be neither swift or opaque, given the approach that's been taken at the moment. Yeah.
So this is
the only concern. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This is basically like the executive order he put in before, but they're saying that it's a new executive order, unless he just added extra information to the executive order and it becomes a new executive order.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It might just be clarifying things a little bit. I suspect that once people feel more secure about purchasing metaverse land backed by NFTs, since there will be laws and regulations in place to protect from the worst actors, they'll become an even more important part of the crypto asset pool. Yeah, so it is the Wild West. We're kind of in no man's land as far as regulation goes. My only remaining concern, which has been the case since I first got involved in cryptocurrency, is governments putting in retroactive laws. Like suddenly things that you did 2-3 years ago, well, now these are the rules and you've got to go back and fix all that mess.
Yes. I'd rather, I know this is unpopular, but I'd rather have it the Wild West. I'd rather do my own research rather than be regulated. I'm pretty much independent when it comes on a lot of things. I go both left and right, but in terms of this, I'd rather have it still being unregulated.
Yeah, well, and that goes back to me too with crypto. Like when I first got involved, it was the Wild West. I went gangbusters. I was all in on crypto. I was doing buy, trade, sell, ICOs, flips, all sorts of stuff. And then the government put in their retroactive clarification of the rules, and I haven't touched crypto since, pretty much.
Retro is so hard. That's so disgusting. Yeah. Oh.
So hopefully that's not the case as far as, metaverse land and that sort of stuff, but we shall see. How do you think now? There has been talk, we're essentially buying in Upland, we're buying the digital representation of people's actual houses.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to play out with, I have seen there's already people kind of hinting at future lawsuits. Like, hang on a minute, you can't sell the digital representation of my house.
Well, you can always just say, all right, it's the digital, it's the same area as your house, but it's not your house. It's this building that I created on top of a plot of land that you don't even own.
I don't think it will be the users that get the lawsuits. I think it will be the platform hosts. So it would be Upland getting in trouble, not Joe Blow with an account.
Yeah, but still, you may own a house, but you don't really own a house. You never really own a house.
You mean IRL?
In real life, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't own a house. You could buy a house, but it's not your house. It's not.
Even if you've got your mortgage fully paid off and you're up to speed with your land taxes and all that.
If the government needs that house, they will take it from you.
Oh, I've seen that happen here where they're extending some of the highways. People
or
had
pipeline,
beautiful
highway, anything.
They can just say, this is the price we're going to give you,
and
take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, well, that's true, I suppose. Yep. Cool. That's another little rabbit hole we might be able to dive down at some stage.
Yeah, you don't really own anything. That's why people with like movable like houses or like, I don't know. I get the whole thing of owning your own house and it's so cool and this and that, but I don't get it at the same time. Like if you're gonna want to own a house, buy one of those like RVs or something. And you can go wherever the hell you want to, and no one's gonna tell you have to sell it.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one. Like it's going back to in real life as well. We were very lucky to get our house here in Australia when we did, in the area that we did. We got in by the skin of our teeth, and in general terms, it cost us about 500,000 Australian dollars to get our house. Prices in the area now are pushing $1 million, which is just insane. Like, and the houses they're being sold before they're being listed. There's so much demand that as soon as you mention to a real estate agent that you might want to sell your house, you will get like 24 offers immediately. I don't know where all the money's coming from. I don't know where all these people coming from, but the prices are just absolutely insane. And there's a little worm in my head saying, cash that money and go and live in an RV down in freaking Tasmania or somewhere. Yeah.
Or just go to some place that is like, 500K and you have 500K in the bank.
Yeah, it could be done easily. Like I could move back to Japan and that money would buy, just where we used to live in Japan, would buy an absolute awesome house and you'd still have plenty of cash left over. The only problem is I got 3 young kids. We can't just uproot the kids. So
you could. Anything is possible. It's going to be
it's doable.
It's going to be difficult, but
it's doable.
Have some like family meetings and see where everybody else is on the subject.
Yes.
Sounds fun, like a fun, exciting adventure.
Possibly. You never know.
In the future.
Watch this space. Yeah. So we'll see. What else? Looks like we've got 2 more here to touch on. Yes, this is what we were going to wrap up on. So here we go for time. Yeah, we need to wrap it up. So why gamers are skeptical of Zuckerberg's Metaverse. HTC, Disney and others have echoed the Meta's CEO's plans for a shared virtual space, but for many, it's nothing new. What do you think about this?
All right. So, I mean,
what is it?
You talk about all these metaverses that are fluffy, like Decentraland or Sandbox, where you pretty much go in there and you're an avatar and hey, I could talk to people. Who cares? Big deal. Like, it is the same thing. People could do that in VR on a computer game. What I want is what Upland has. Like, it has so many avenues for actual businesses. Like, I don't know the whole story about businesses in Decentraland or Sandbox or any of that, but I know that you don't have to know that much to go into Upland, buy some properties, hold, invest, flip, get some money, cars, you have the businesses coming out, you have renting, you have all sorts of like decor shops, like all of this stuff coming out. It's still new. I kind of feel like Upland Metaverse is for adults and Decentraland and Sandbox are for kids or people who aren't really ambitious.
Maybe that goes back to the TikTok angle. Maybe that's why those TikToks are potentially so effective.
But do we want those kind of people in Upland who are
I
constantly
don't,
complaining?
but I'm a crusty old man.
Well, I mean, no, I'd rather have crusty old men.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, like I'm more like a get off my lawn, you little shit, and pull your pants up sort of thing.
I'd rather have that. Like, I don't want young kids going when like, oh, hey, I'm here. Why can't I see my avatar? Why can't I talk in Upland? I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you talk. I don't want to see you. I'll see your block explorer or your car. Like, I want to see a map. I want to do treasure hunts. I want to invest. I don't want the fluff. Like, if you want the fluff, go there.
With that TikTok angle, it seems they're pushing in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
they want
it really does.
I don't even know what's this. What's that gen called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Generation stupid.
Gen Sooniverse.
Gen Sooniverse.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Laterverse.
And yeah, kind of just to wrap on that, as far as gamers, gamers being skeptical of Zuckerberg's Metaverse, we've got one more thing here, if I can find it. And you found this one.
Yeah, that's exciting. Like, and I don't even know what Axie Infinity is.
Yes, Axie Infinity accounted for nearly 2/3 of blockchain game NFT transactions in 2021. So there you go.
All I know about Axie is the people who invest in Axie invest in Upland.
There's a lot of crossover. Yep, absolutely.
That's crazy. I have to.
Here it is. Here, look. Out. Gamers of the Monster Battle NFTs. So it does sound like a almost a Pokemon-ish card-ish thing.
Yeah.
Transacted $3.5 billion worth of value in NFTs in 2021. Billion.
That's wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's great. I love it.
In second and third place has been sports activities, NBA, high shot. I thought that was hot shot, but yeah, 827 million, and group gaming platform Loop 242 million. So the next second and third is a bit over 1 billion, and Axie Infinity is 3 times that. That's crazy. Oh, here you go. This explains what it is here. There you go.
Created by Vietnamese online game developer Sky Mavis in 2018, the sport comprises creatures known as Axies that gamers gather and use to finish day-by-day quests, duel different gamers, and so forth. Well, that sounds more better than a card game.
Yeah. So it's kind of...
It's Ethereum.
Yes. Well, I wonder how much of the 3.5 billion is in gas fees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy because like ETH has such high gases and Axie is doing so much business. It's like scary and amazing and great at the same time.
Yeah. Well, holy crap, read that bit.
On the entire, Axie Infinity accounted for 19% of the estimated 17 billion in complete NFT. Wow.
17 billion in NFT transactions in 2021. Holy moly. If it's 17 billion at the very earliest Wild West stages, what are the headlines going to be next year?
Trillion. It's going to be crazy. This is, it's exciting. It makes me feel like Christmas morning,
Yeah.
Like reading stuff like this and finding out new stuff. I love it.
Blockchain gaming fans purchased and offered 5.18 billion value of NFTs in the final year. Blah, blah, blah. As well, there has been a complete of 112. What's the language in this? What does that mean? As well as there have been a complete of 112 blockchain video games and 1.88 million lively wallets.
Yeah, they need an editor for this.
Yeah. But yeah, 112 blockchain video games. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of crap. If you go to the App Store and look up blockchain games, there is just a whole bunch of just atrocious crap.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I looked into the Axie, and they use a Ronin wallet. Now, why are there so many wallets? Why can't you choose which one? Like, because I have MetaMask, I have, Polygon, ETH, whatever in there. Why can't I just use that? I don't know. I hate having all these wallets. I really, took away a lot of wallets that I'm using because it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what wallets for what anymore. So I kind of put everything together and took away stuff I haven't used.
Yeah, I did the same recently with my crypto stuff. I cleaned house. I pretty much was into every wallet that came along, but I sent everything to a couple of, main central wallets. Yeah. And I kind of did the same recently with my Discord as well. Like, I was in nearly 200 Discord servers. Now I think I'm in probably 12. I just stripped out of all of the stuff that I wasn't actually engaging in. I just got rid of it. So
I need to do that.
Yes.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard because I like to promote us so much, and it's just it's hard to decide, but I really do have to do that.
Yeah, you do a lot of work as far as that sort of things, for sure. That's about all we had to touch on today. And is there anything else you wanted to speak to?
I think I'm good. We did great. This was a nice long chat.
It's a bit of a journey, kind of. I guess this sets the foundations for what we'll speak about in the upcoming episodes. There'll be some points of reference here. Yes, and I'm looking forward to making that underwater spearfishing NFT. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, sign us out. Later. Bye. Bye. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Good day, sickos. Okay, for this free episode theme Morecheeese NFT, as always, like and subscribe. Then, I don't know, be creative and do something that captures their attention. Later. Empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Evil empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. Evil empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Evil empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese.